Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Naked Truth Podcast.
Taking Maypack?
We could talk about cheating, but the main crux that I want to get to is what is more worse, emotional cheating or physical cheating? Let's start with cheating. Eddie Lee, what you got? What do you consider cheating?
Uh, Cheating is when you come to an agreement and then you break that agreement, or you operating in that agreement while also doing something on the side that you know would destroy that agreement if it came to light.
So you're saying that first that there's a promise, I guess, of an
Yeah,
agreement.
you got to come to some type of understanding of like what's going on, what are we doing, type shit.
And so hopefully during that agreement, you've decided the rules or whatever structure of this contract that you're going into.
For sure.
Okay.
You
And
would at
then
least
anything
hope.
outside of that, was that?
I say you would hope that you come to that because sometimes people jump in and don't actually make the rules. They just be like, "Oh, this is kind of the standard, and we was going for the standard, but we ain't we ain't discuss all that." So
Well, and some people are good at negotiating their contracts. Some people don't need an agent or an attorney or some kind of legal representation. And some people are going blindly and be like, sure, I'll give up everything just to be in this relationship. Or sorry, this contract situation. We don't want to say relationship yet. Antoine, what'd you think? What's cheating to you?
I think cheating is anything that is done. Cheating is doing anything that you would not do in front of a person you have a commitment to.
mm,
I don't know about that one. Explain it before I jump
mm,
into it.
So if I would not grab somebody a certain way in front of somebody that I'm kicking it with, talking to, have a commitment with, or whatever, but I do that when they're not around, that's cheating.
mm.
But they got some dirtbags out there that would do it in front of their significant other and think it's cool. So is that still cheating? If
Hey, he living in his truth.
I don't know if right. I don't know if I would consider that cheating. Like if you're doing it in front of, well, I mean, I guess yes, to a degree, it could be considered cheating. But if you're doing it in front of the other person's face, the other person knows and is aware of what is happening. Right?
For
Cheating
sure.
to me is doing something where the other person isn't aware. It's
mm,
like cheating on a test, right? When you're cheating on a test, you're cheating in hopes of not getting caught. So the teacher isn't necessarily aware that you're cheating in that moment because they don't know what you're doing. It's only until they later see your test and it's obvious that you cheated that you get caught.
but what about those people who don't care on how sloppy they're cheating? They know they're not supposed to do something. So you saying that the other person doesn't know, but they don't care if the other person knows. So whether that is uh, that you drive by whoever they're cheating with, and you can see that significant other's car there, like is that still considered cheating? Like, or you just probably in an open relationship, you didn't realize that.
I mean, I feel like if if somebody does something in the other person's face and it's very obvious, like if I'm with someone and then I see somebody and I start kissing this person right in front of the other person that I'm with, I don't know if I would necessarily call that cheating. I mean, I think it maybe could be a form of cheating, but I don't know if I would necessarily call that cheating. I would just call that being trash. But I don't know if I would necessarily call it cheating because the other person is right there aware of what's going on. And I just feel like, to me, cheating is when somebody doesn't have the knowledge or awareness of what is happening.
So if your partner knows you ain't shit, it ain't cheating.
I
That's pretty
mean,
much his.
that's what I was trying to get to because
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
ultimately to build on what you were saying, though, I like to put a asterisk behind it is doing something that you know you wouldn't do to your significant other that you know would disappoint them. I think that's what you would have to say, because you can do it, but if you know that's going to hurt their feelings, or do something that's detrimental to them, then that part is the part that I think that was missing from your statement. Because, like you said, people could be just dirtbags and they don't care. But if you know you doing this is going to hurt them, doing it behind their back, like, that's the real cheating concept right there. But let's get to the emotional versus physical, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm a man that, I like to wear my feelings on my sleeve. I ain't gonna lie. There's the Taurus in me. You gonna know exactly what's on my face. I don't have a good poker face. So to me, personally, I think emotional cheating is worse. And when we say emotional cheating, that means that you are having a romantic situation with somebody who is not your partner, versus you just getting a transaction, an oral transaction, whatever you want to call it. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You never see that person again, whatever, boom, boom. You could be somebody's dirty rag. I don't know whatever you want to call them. But at the end of the day, when you're making that emotional attachment, to me, that's when it gets too dirty, because you can't see that cheating happening. Is that in your face?
But cheating is never in your face.
I mean, when you come home with, some lipstick on your shirt, or you smelling like somebody else. I mean, there's evidence there, but if I can't see what's going on in your brain, like, I don't know if you really are here with me right now, or if you're thinking about somebody else.
But I feel like even in a dynamic where there's not cheating, that could always be happening. Like,
Very.
so
You have to be secure in yourself.
yeah, so like from that standpoint, I don't really understand too much of like the emotional cheating type of like I don't know how that would come to light, like, oh, you've been emotionally cheating on me. I also feel like at the end of the day, people are gonna have a dynamics outside of their like relationship that may have stronger emotional bonds depending on either how long it's been or how intimate the relationship is. So like I feel like the emotional side of things is kind of like an odd line to walk, because I feel like you're running that risk regardless. Whereas at least with the physical side of things, it's like, all right, well, if we've come to the agreement that we only supposed to be doing certain activities with us and not as somebody else, well, like I said, you bridge the contract.
I think, to Will's point, right? Like, I would agree with him. I think emotional cheating is more hurts more than physical cheating, especially for guys, right? Because most guys, um, we're dogs. And so a lot of times
I don't stand
physical
behind that
cheating.
statement.
I was about to say, that is an Antoine statement. He does not
I don't,
speak for everybody.
We're dogs.
he's dying on that hill by himself.
Right, by himself.
And I will stand on
They
it.
will
We're no
take your man
dogs. We're
card right
dogs.
after this episode appears.
For sure.
But no, I feel like with guys, right? We have the ability to, when it comes to the physical, not necessarily always attach emotion to it, right? And so I think when it comes to emotional cheating, while it's not one of those things where there is like a physical evidence of it, in my mind, it's really one of those things where you find out a person has been cheating, but then you find out the cheating is more than just them having sex. It's the person actually has feelings for this person, like they have an emotional connection for this person. And I think that hurts more because it messes with our pride and our ego versus, okay, you just smashed. It won't nothing. I can maybe forgive, get over that, or we can work through that. But if I know that you have an emotional connection to somebody and it's been more than just a physical, then it's a wrap.
So what if it's the emotional connection without the physical?
I was just gonna say, like, it doesn't even have to have the physical
Yeah.
part with the emotional, because to me, I know when somebody has emotionally checked out of a situation. Like, they're no longer trying to be affectionate with you. They seem a little, like, standoffish, like they don't want to cuddle or anything like that. And it's because in their mind, they would rather be with that other person who they have that emotional cheating affair with. And unfortunately, with the physical thing, if somebody, like, say for instance, you go into a situation and somebody doesn't like to give oral sex, and so then because of that, your partner goes find someone else to
Terrible.
do it. You know what I mean? And so then you're like, okay, well, that's something I can fix. I can learn how to, do oral sex better or whatever. But emotionally, like, you don't know how to be there for that person that other person is cheating with emotionally, because whatever it is that they're doing, whatever connection that they have, is something that you can't physically change per se. You can try to be there for them, you can try to listen to them, but I don't think you can recover from emotional cheating. Like, I mean, so some people, like, I mean, for the physical cheating, they'd be like, all right, well, they only cheated on me twice, I can deal with that.
Twice.
I don't
God,
know, there are people out there that's like,
twice.
I'm just saying.
Now
Okay,
you're down
okay,
there
let's talk
begging
about that.
like
Okay,
it's
wait. Let's put a pin in that. Let's put a pin in that. Can you recover from somebody that you discovered physically cheating from you? Can you forgive it? Like, and is it a quantity? Like, what?
As somebody who's been cheated on, there's no recovery period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, because, like, to me, I'm already not the most trusting person. So it's like I'm not the most trusted person, but I'm also like more open physically. So like if I'm the type of person where you could kind of put shit being open on the table is the best way I
Mhm.
know how to explain that. So if I catch you cheating after 9 times out of 10, you was the person who was like, "Oh, I want this exclusive relationship," blah blah, blah. Like,
Mhm.
nah, we ain't coming back from that. Get the fuck on. Like, no, no.
Antoine, have
so
you?
so for me, right, cheating is not the end all be all of a relationship. However,
Tripping.
there is a quantity attached to that.
A
A
quantity
quantity?
I will give you a pass one time, right?
per
Hell
Because
year,
no.
I
per
understand,
quarter,
huh?
per year, per quarter,
No,
like
no, no, no,
what?
no, no. One time period.
One period.
One time period, right? And let me explain. I'll give you that one time period pass because I understand that there are many different reasons of why people cheat, and it's not always just because you find somebody else attractive or whatever the case may be, right? So for me, if I find that you have cheated one time, we can go to counseling, we can talk, we can work on whatever issues or problems that we have had, um, or that we're dealing with in that moment to make you want to go outside of our situation. But you only get that one time because if you cheat on me again, it's a wrap. Because what I'm not going to do is be Boo Boo the fool and you just thinking that you can just cheat on me whenever you want.
Do you think
So,
people drive other people to cheat, or do you think people is
so
cheaters?
before we get, that's my next topic. I want to get to, why do people cheat?
Okay.
I want to stay on that physical thing.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a prime example. I was dating this girl in my freshman year, I think, freshman year or sophomore year, I can't remember. And she will remain nameless, but we hanging out. She went to a HBCU, which happens to be in the DC area, one of the most popular ones. I'm also not going to drop the name on there, but
So it's only a few.
if you got it, you got it. If you don't, I don't know, get them out. But no, what I was saying is, so when she would come over to, spend time with me, like, I wanted to entertain some sexual activities, and she would tell me no. Like, and I thought, well, maybe she's saving herself, maybe she's a
Yeah,
virgin. This whole time,
we know.
homegirl was
We know.
getting smashed
Yep.
by this dude who was on, I think he was the captain of the soccer team or something.
Hmm.
And my friends were like, we didn't want to tell you, but we just know that you, because I mean, we're going to two different schools. I'm going to George Mason and going to the HBCU. So like the whole time when she's not with me, she getting smashed. And I'm like, that was hurtful to me. So that's what I'm saying. Some things
She was
physically.
she was emotionally cheating with you, sir.
Wait. She wasn't in a relationship with me?
She was emotionally cheating with you.
How? She was physically cheating with me more than emotional.
Nah, because she said she had reservations towards the sexual activity with you, whereas she was out here doing what she was doing. So you was the person who was catching most of the emotions and the times where she just wanted to feel like a woman outside of the sexual
Right.
nature.
So you mean to say that I was providing for her the emotional parts that
Yeah,
the guy who she was smashing? Yeah.
yeah, most
But
likely, yeah.
But that's not emotion. Emotion cheating is like if we're in a relationship and we could be having sex, everything, but in your mind, you still thinking you could be a coworker, somebody that you just casually friends with. Because you remember on that one episode we talked about Antoine have some friends, and
He dirty macking.
he dirty back it.
No, I was not dirty macking.
You were dirty back in, but no, I'm just saying, like, you just have this attachment to somebody. But in that case, she was physically cheating on me, and that's something that I like. I said that I could recover better, but it was to me. Here I am, like I was buying her Valentine's Day gifts, all this stuff, thinking I'm waiting for that time, for my time, for my
Damn,
time, and then she was getting smashed by, like I said, somebody else. Like that
cold
was
game.
so wow.
The game is cold. It's a cold game out here.
It was a hard lesson I had to learn,
Hard lesson.
especially as a new guy in a new area, and I'm just like, I want to go home. I don't want to like this is. I'm done.
Yeah,
The
like
hurt, the hurt, the hurt. And if I see her today, I don't know. Ooh, 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 ooh.
damn.
But, but look, so then let's go to that. Like, why do people cheat? Because it's not to say like if we were having sex and maybe I wasn't pleasing her, like she had to go find it from somebody else or whatever your interests are for each other. But why do people cheat?
I think people cheat when there is a void in their relationship, situationship, or whatever they have going on that they're not getting. Like
Is it
something.
always a void?
Most of the time, it 9 times out of 10, most of the time, it's some type of void, whether it's not being pleased sexually, not getting affection or emotional attention or support, not feeling wanted or desired. The list goes on and on and on. But at the end of the day, the root cause is there's some type of void that is missing in that relationship.
You are patting it because there are some people who are getting into relationships knowing they are hoes and they don't want to be in a relationship, but they want the benefits of a relationship. And they know damn well they don't want to be committed, but they're going to want to be in this relationship because, like I said, it comes with all these benefits. And they know, so it has nothing to do with the other
I
person
don't
not pleasing them or that there's a void. That person is just a hoe.
I don't know if it's a nature of not wanting to be committed. I think there's probably like three main reasons. One, because of the void that's actually going on in the dynamic. Like
That's
this
possible.
person ain't servicing me. Two, because there's the void within themselves of like, yo, as no matter what you give me, it's still something that
I'm
I
not going to be
just I
satisfied.
can there's an itch I need to scratch.
Hmm.
And then I think you just got the people who is like, regardless of the relationship, like outside is they outside. Like that's where they want to be. Like, and it's great to have somebody at home and it's great to have somebody that like is there for all the internal things that don't come with outside. But just because I can have and maintain that don't mean that outside ain't where I'm at. And I
Just
think
because you can doesn't mean you should.
yeah, and I think there's a certain level of freedom and agency that some people just don't want to give up, and there's like a level of what relationships are that feels like a level of ownership instead of like cooperation that also kind of is like I ain't for all that. Like I want it, but I don't want to feel owned. And as soon as I feel owned, I'm gonna go back outside type shit. So it just depends.
Uh, I've been in a situation where somebody cheated on me because of a physical stature. They wanted to sleep with somebody who was more engorged. And I'm like, if you want to walk away with half your insides hanging out, sure, by all means, because I'm not that kind of guy. I mean, you still gonna feel it, but this is again rated NC-17, whatever. But if you want the guy from the porn channel with the like the horse meat, like I yeah, all right. You
Screaming,
you gotta
not the
find
horse
because
meat.
there are some insatiable people like that. They just want whatever the biggest thing, and they don't care how much damage their internal organs are being damaged. But
Maybe there ain't no damage. Maybe it's just it go that deep.
whatever it is, the situation, right? If you know that that person cannot meet that part for you, let's talk about that. Is it fair for you to find that somewhere else and still keep being in the relationship? Or because I mean, like, are you going to throw away like 20 years of unsatisfaction, right? Are you going to be like, well, I'm ready to throw away 20 years of unsatisfaction because this person's not doing that for me? So either you cheat and stay in a relationship or you leave.
So I will say this: I don't think under any circumstance is it okay to cheat because a person is not being satisfied. I think that one or two things need to happen. If you're not being satisfied, then you need to teach your partner how to satisfy you. And if that is not working, then you need to end the relationship and move on and find somebody else that can satisfy you.
Eddie Lee.
I
I
mean,
see you married.
I'm always an advocate for like leave. I've never physically cheated. I don't really understand the emotional side of things, so I don't know if I've emotionally
We're not
cheated.
going to tap you for
Yeah,
that expertise.
but as somebody who has experienced being cheated on, I think the only part of it that really pissed me off about it was more so that in my mind I was like, well, you could have just told me this, feel me? And then like we either we either could have opened things up, or like there could have been things around it that like I would have understand should you have given me the opportunity to understand, but you ain't even give me that choice to understand. You kind of just did what you wanted to do, which is fine. But if you're gonna do what you want to do that shit outside the castle, not in the castle. You feel me? So
So let me ask you this
yeah,
question: when that cheating happened, was
yeah.
that the first time somebody cheated on you?
It's the only time. Well, the only time
Oh,
I
the whole
knew, the only time I found out that this
time. Okay,
happened.
okay. And then let's use that scenario.
Okay,
Have you ever cheated on somebody prior to that situation?
no, mm-mm.
You had never cheated on nobody. So in your mind, you're like, here I am. I never cheated on nobody, and then somebody cheated on you. What was like other than the opportunity that you didn't get a chance to say something? Like,
Mm.
what did that make you feel like? Did that give you a pass to say, well, everybody cheats in the world, so I'm going to cheat now?
It's
Because some people are scorned and they like, well, fuck the world,
so
whatever. I'm out.
if I wasn't so like open, like I guess sexually, then I probably would have had them thoughts of like, oh, now I gotta go be the other nigga. But like the insecurity, I guess, didn't necessarily come from that angle. I would say, and the insecurities that arose was just like, well, what the hell was I doing for you not to trust me enough to explain that like this is what you need, especially when like the reasoning behind it wasn't, oh, something was wrong with the sex life. The reasoning behind it was, well, this person just makes me feel more safe and it is more there from an emotional standpoint, and then we kind of add the physical because of that, so on and so forth. So it's like in my mindset it's like, well, shit, they kind of helping. You kind of helping at that time. I'm like, well, shit, you kind of helping me. Because I would say at the time when I found out everything, I was way less vulnerable, emotional about just everything. Like it was very much just like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But the side of it that made it kind of be like a no go for me was just the way I found things out, and the way everything kind of came to light was like, all right, you really plotted about this until it came to light, like you just couldn't keep it up no more. And I don't like the plot. I respect the game, but I don't like the plot. So because I'm not with the plot, you gotta go, because now I don't know, should in case something else comes up where you're not necessarily getting your way, when are you gonna plot again? And I don't want to be
Right.
thinking about that, because I feel like regardless of her actions, at least at that time, there was still a level of care. Like it wasn't completely fuck you. It got to the point where it's completely fuck you, but we don't got to go into all that. But before it got to that, it was like, well, I still care about you. So it's best for us to separate. And at least I can hone in on the fact that I care about you. And at least for what it was cool. But I can't continue because now I know I can't trust you. And I don't want to be in that position of like feeling like, or I'm constantly holding something over your head, because now I feel like that's just going to lead me to resenting you because I'm starting to resent myself.
I totally agree with Eddie Lee on this subject, right? I am very transparent. So I'm gonna give you a situation that happened to me. I was talking to this guy. We were not in a relationship. We were just dating, talking, whatever you want to call it, right? I said to him up front, I only have one rule. If we are having sex and you decide to have sex with somebody else, tell me, because I want to know and be able to make a decision if I want to continue to have sex with you if I know you were out here having sex with somebody else.
For sure.
That's the only rule I ever had.
For sure.
So we're kicking it. We're talking. Everything is great. Great guy. Like all of those things. I go away on a trip to a cabin, and some things happen between me and another gentleman. Now, I'm not cheating because we're not in a relationship. We're not in a relationship. We are not in a committed relationship. We are just talking at this moment.
I'm gonna let you cook.
Exclusively talking.
I'm gonna let him cook. Let him cook. Let him
We
cook.
Let him
never
cook. Let him cook.
decided.
Let him
We
cook. Let
never
him cook.
decided whether we were exclusive.
All right.
We were just talking. And if you're in the talking stage, I'm open to date or have sex with anybody else. But because I have this rule, when I came back, I said to him, when I went on this trip, I did X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I'm going to give you the same courtesy that I asked you for.
All
This
right.
man tells me, oh, well, I had so let me give you context. We were supposed to have met up in September. Okay. I went to the cabin in December, right? So this is the timeline. Him and I were supposed to have met up. We were supposed to go on this trip in September. I couldn't go on the trip due to work commitments.
Okay.
Okay. He still went on the trip. While he was on the trip, he had relations with another nigga.
So
Okay?
y'all just not meant for
Fine.
trips. Y'all go on trips and
That's
just
fine. Totally
Eating on
fine.
trips. The next topic.
Right. No trips. That's totally fine. My issue was you had September, October, November to tell me. You did not tell me until I told you about what I did in December.
he thought hire
In
you.
that moment,
He
I
thought
let him
hire
go.
you. He thought hire you. I know why he didn't tell you. He thought hire you.
I let him go.
He didn't
I
think
cut him off.
he didn't think you was that type, and then he found out you'd be dirty macking. He was like, "Damn, damn
No,
it."
his thing was so when I told him that we could not
I
go
thought I
any
was the
further,
hoe. Now I'm in a relationship with a hoe too.
Nigga couldn't
nah, it ain't
handle
like
it.
that. But when I when I told him that I could not go any further with him, and he asked me why, I said it's because I can't trust you. I said because I told you from the beginning I only had one rule. You know what his response was? He said when you told me that I didn't believe
He thought hire
I didn't
you.
believe.
He thought hire you. He thought you was just saying that because like, oh, whatever, like, but he putting you up on that, oh, you like in your eyes you probably like here and he like here type shit. Just from a moral standpoint, he's like, damn, you believe in morals and trust and all these things that like I don't obtain to, like, that's dope. And then come to find out you lived on what you stand on, he's like, shit, now I gotta live on it. And I think niggas should just be honest, because if you're honest, you might realize that it's some shit that people is okay with. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially a
So
nigga like
okay.
me. I'm okay with that.
So that takes me to where I was trying to the juicy juice I
Yeah.
was going to drop. So I'm Will. I know I like to be, this, glorious person, the kind of guy that you take home to the mama, parent, whatever.
What is
I'm
this,
a
an
good
ad?
dude.
Is this
Yeah,
an
yeah. What's
ad?
going on here? This is not Hinge, my brother. What the fuck going on
This podcast is sponsored by
here?
no. So I say to all to say we all perfect, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm going to talk about my first time cheating because I have cheated more than once, but not it's not
You've
like a
cheated?
You cheated?
really. I hope you guys can imagine the invisible middle fingers that I'm giving them. But so the first time, this is how I know I was not meant for cheating, because the first time I didn't even know it was going to be a situation that cheated. So I was in a relationship, but I had sexual partners before this relationship, and when the person who I had sexual relations with before found out I was in a relationship, they was like, "Oh, you ain't got no time for me. You don't ever come back around, blah, 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 right?
Typical.
Sound like y'all heard this story before,
For
right?
sure.
Don't do it. When you hear that, say, all right, yeah, you're good. I'll catch you the next time I see you outside. Don't do it. Me, I was like 20. So I was like, oh, I'll come over, just hang out, because I know boundaries, I know boundaries. So
Right.
I get there, they answer the door.
On demon time. On demon
However,
time.
however, this is their household. I can't tell them to put some clothes on
Your
or
ass
whatever.
went in the house.
And again, 2019, I can't remember, whatever that date was, I went in and that was the trap, right? Of
Scandalous.
course.
My man saw the devil at the front door and still walked in.
I said, I'm strong. I can beat this. I know myself. Don't do it. You don't know
Oh
yourself.
my god!
So now picture it. We didn't stay in the living room. We went to the
Of course
bedroom
you did.
because I don't think they had a TV in the living room. So the TV was in the bedroom. I don't have a TV in my living room. I have a TV in my bedroom. So if we're going to watch TV, you're going to come to my bed. So we are just watching TV.
You dirty Mackie. You see that? Some dirty Mackie. Antoine, hey, Antoine, no game. He said, I see you, sir,
Listen,
and I raise you 20.
Look, I am blocking all the judgment of this. Look, I'm telling my story, and this is my story. I'm sticking to it. So they fell asleep. And so I was like, yo, like, I didn't come over here to watch you sleep. I thought we would come to watch TV or movie or whatever. And as they woke up, then they proceeded to do the oral transaction with me. So,
keep digging that
so
grave, brother. Keep digging that grave.
So I was really caught because I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Because this is somebody I had sex with before. I know I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm in this relationship. And so I allow them to, get to their orgasm. I didn't get to my orgasm, so I didn't feel like I was cheating. So we talked about this
You cheated,
before.
brother. You cheated.
Is that still considered
You
cheating?
cheated,
bruh,
brother.
bruh,
You cheated.
niggas will use any excuse, bruh.
Because I didn't get a nut. You know what I mean? So I'm just like,
As
well,
as Destiny Child said, you're trifling, good for nothing type of brother.
Niggas will use any excuse to deny accountability, bro. My man said I didn't get a nut, so I ain't cheat. What the fuck?
so
First
I
off,
mean,
first off, you woke him up for some satisfaction because I ain't hearing none
no,
of
no,
that.
no. I woke him up to go watch
Yeah,
TV.
right,
That's my
right,
story.
right,
Sure,
right,
sure.
right, right, right.
But the ending of that story is as soon as that transaction ended, I put my clothes on, ran out, and in the car, I called my significant other and told them right away.
And they broke up with you?
No, they were like, "Thank you for being honest and telling me, whatever." So we're gonna shift the conversation a little bit. Is honesty always the best policy?
Hell no.
Yes.
Because in that situation, would you want somebody to tell you? Because I mean, I just felt so guilty. I was like, I have to say something. I couldn't like. There are people who be doing dirt and will take it to the grave. I just can't be that kind of person. That's why I know cheating is not for me.
I think
So that's why I'm still a good, guy to take home because I don't like to cheat.
I think anything that directly involves your partner, yes, you should be honest with. But I also know that there's things that I've done that like is going to the grave. Ain't nobody gonna know about that. It's going to the grave.
See?
Like it's just, but that's just like life shit where I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't even want that to come to life. We good. My therapist ain't even good finna know about this, bro.
That's that wall. That's
That's
that
not
wall.
wrong.
Okay,
That's that wall.
okay, we good. I ain't doing.
So I personally feel like I love transparency, right? Tell me, I want to know. We can talk about it. We can discuss it. Now, here's the caveat. Don't tell me after you've been caught or
Mm,
you think that I'm about to catch you
mm-hmm,
because I have this toxic trait, right? And I always say my toxic trait is if I ask you a question, I already know the answer.
mm-hmm.
Oh, come
So
on.
if I ask you a question, don't try to come clean in that moment. You should have came clean after the situation happened. And then we could have talked about it, worked through it, or whatever the case may be. And I would
But
have
why be
appreciated
passive
you.
aggressive
Yeah,
about
why are
it?
you being passive aggressive? Don't ask me no question you know already know the answer. That's gonna piss me off.
Right,
Because I want to see if you're going to tell me the truth.
I'm probably gonna lie to you just because I
right.
know you.
Exactly. And if you lie to me, then it's a wrap because
Nah,
I
But
can no
even if
longer
they tell the
trust you.
truth,
yeah, even if I tell the
even if
truth,
you
what you gonna say? Oh,
exactly, you
you
still gonna
lying to
feel some kind
me.
of way,
You lying to me.
right?
No, if you tell the truth, I'm going to say thank you for telling me the truth. I already knew. I just wanted to see if you were going to tell me the truth or
But
not.
you still gonna be pissed
Yeah,
no matter
yeah,
what.
and that's manipulation.
That is.
Call it. I told you it was a toxic trait. I said that from the beginning. Like, come on.
So that's what's on Antoine's warning label. Toxicity. He will ask you something he
Listen,
already know.
I will tell you up front all of the bad things about me
Mm,
so that you know and can make an informed decision of whether you want to talk to me, get to know me, be with me, or whatever the case may be. But you can never say that Antoine was not fully transparent with you and that you did not have any knowledge of who I am.
that's true.
That's
I
not.
that's I just
That's
asked for
not
the
a good
same.
pass. That's not a good
That
pass.
that's that.
Mm-mm.
I mean, that's fair, but I think at the same time, it's like I think sometimes we mistake like honesty and vulnerability for like need to know. You know what I'm saying? And maybe this is just working for the government. Like, but it's just some shit. Like, you know what? You don't need to know that. So therefore, we not about to dive into them type of dynamics. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, and this is why I say I think the line to that is anything that you know is going to directly affect your partner. Like, okay, for instance, if I'm in a situation where uh let's say I was a whore in my past life, right? I
Hypothetically.
I mean, I know I wasn't, but so this
Are
is
you
why it's a
sure?
great yeah, I know that for a fact. Trust me. My
Oh, we're gonna have to get some references on
you ain't going to
that.
find too many. That's what I'm saying. So it's cool. My car
Go
my
ahead.
That
Carfax
ain't
is
what the
clean.
streets saying.
Hey, look, the
That
streets
ain't
can
what the
say what they
streets saying.
want. Show me the receipts.
Okay, this when it's dirt. Listen, this can
Look,
be
I,
found.
I I do my dirt when it's raining, okay? I just put it like that.
I can't.
But nah, so like in that situation, I feel like if we know that there's negative stigmas around hypersexuality.
Right?
So therefore, if I was somebody who was very hypersexual in my past, and now I'm meeting somebody who either displays like a disdain for that, or comes from a background or a family that may look down on that, or even just needs a heads up before we go out in the street, and you meet three or four people that I was doing what I was doing with. Like, I feel like you owe that person that, because it's gonna cross the boundaries of your relationship at some point, to where when it comes up, the way that it comes up is going to create a certain level of friction. So I feel like in those type of dynamic, and it doesn't always have to be sexual, but I feel like in those type of dynamics where hey, this could potentially be like one of the things I always have to do is tell my partner, shit, I do music. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a negative stigma around that, and before we even get into all this type of stuff, if I'm out 3 4 in the morning and I'm at the studio and I'm this and I'm that, and I take this very seriously, I need you to understand that. And if you don't understand that, I need to at least understand that you don't understand that, so I can throw up the deuces. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not gonna work for the dynamic that it is. So I think anytime you know that, hey, this is going to affect the dynamic with somebody else, you should be your your upfront, fullest, honest thing. But I also think that there's certain things that, I don't know, until you're ready, you kind of just gotta keep that shit close to the chest. Because if you're not ready, I feel like you gonna muddy the waters, because you're gonna be trying to jump around it in a way that kind of like guards them from the fact that you're not ready, instead of just operating from the standpoint of it's not something you're trying to touch because you're not ready. So
But I think we talked about topics of cheating as in whether or not you should be honest with someone. But what if they're not even asking you questions about honesty? Like in this on one article that I found, this guy says that his wife is second guessing their marriage because she asked him a question and he answered it honestly. She asked him if he had found her attractive when they first met. And she even urged him not to sugarcoat his
Yeah,
answer and or to try to spare her feelings. And so he said that she's the most beautiful person he knows, but he didn't find it initially, and so she like grew on him, and now he has now grown to like her type. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But when she heard that, she was hurt. So that's what I'm saying. Like in those situations, if you're in a relationship and your partner comes to you and says, "Hey, I want you to be really honest with me," like blah blah blah, and I found myself in the same situation where if I'm not initially attracted to you, I don't want to necessarily enter into a relationship or try to pursue one if I don't feel the attraction. You know what I mean? Because I don't want it to have to grow on me. Because what if then I'm in this guy's situation where I have to answer that question? I don't know what I should say.
I think for me, and I will always stand on this, right? Honesty is always the best policy. I'd rather for you be honest with me up front than for me to find out later that what you told me wasn't the truth. Even if it was in the sense of you trying to spare my feelings or
Mm,
whatever the case may be. Like
hmm.
at the end of the day, I'm still going to be somewhat upset with you, even though what you thought you were doing may have been noble to you. I'm still going to be upset with you because at the end of the day, you lied to me.
For sure.
But you're gonna be upset with them with the truth too. Because what if they tell you what you don't want to hear? You're gonna still be upset.
Then let me be upset at you telling me the truth versus me being upset that I know that you lied. I I I can get over the fact that you told me the truth. It'll be harder for me to get over the fact that you told me a lie.
You know what's crazy?
But that's just me because I don't like liars. So,
This conversation is realizing that I'm a contradiction.
What's the contradiction?
oh Lord, here we
Because
go.
I agree with Antoine in terms of in relation to me, I need 100% of the honesty. Like
Yeah.
don't sugarcoat nothing. But I also don't know if I give that. So I'm very much a contradiction.
So that's where I'm saying, like, if for me, I'm all about don't ask questions that you don't want to hear the answers to. You know
But
what I
I feel like
mean?
that's tough because like all right, sometimes I feel like people are asking questions that like if I answer this honest like if I answer this honestly, you're not going to like the answer. Like
Right.
I just know that. So like at the same time it's also like one of those things where it's like what do you like most times it kind of feels like they're fishing for something. It's like what do you
They
want? Like
are.
what do you really want?
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
like I'd rather you ask me what you really want, but then also I feel like because you're not asking me what you really are trying to ask me, it's like you also kind of giving me leeway to kind of just like give you an answer that I'm really just trying to like trying to give you to keep things going versus like all right, if we're gonna keep it true, then like we got to keep it true across the board. So it's like I feel like it's always constantly navigating that dynamic of are you like do you want my real or do you want to just hear what you want to hear? And if you want to hear what you want to hear, I can very much give you what you want to hear, but just understand that we're probably living a lie because it's not really what
Right.
I think. Type shit.
And so I guess for me, I wanted to protect myself because Antoine would like to say that I only date a certain type of people, person, whatever, and I don't feel like I do.
You do.
Uh, I can say the same thing about him. Everybody he dates is yellow.
They are.
Oh
I
my
have a
Uh,
type. I have a preference. I will not deny that.
Jesus Christ.
so if you are a dark person, hang it up because Antoine ain't looking your way.
Damn.
I'm
Um,
that's
Damn.
cap, bro. That's cap. That's very
Damn.
cap.
I'm just saying, for me, like, I don't think everybody that dated look the same. He said he does, they do, but I don't know. So for me, I like to keep the options open. But if I don't feel a spark, I can't lie and say that I'm feeling a spark that is not there.
Yeah.
So, but would the person eventually grow on me? Possibly. But is it fair to them to continue like pouring into this, not knowing what the future is when you could be talking to somebody else.
I think you're pouring in not knowing what the future is, regardless if the outcome is good or bad. So like
Hmm.
either way, you're always taking that risk. I think from the I guess if we're taking a more empathetic standpoint, I think
Hmm.
we would all like for there to be like a relatively even playing field. And most times you kind of know if you have like a little bit more of the advantage. So it's like if you have more of the advantage, it's kind of on you to create a dynamic where, all right, let me even this out. Like I can tell either you're more engaged in this or you're giving a little bit more and things of that nature. So therefore, I'm going to provide a little bit more reassurance or just create more of an environment that lets you know that what you're investing is not being wasted. That would be like a perfect world. In the real world, it's like I think people the same way how people maybe grow to like and understand these dynamics is the same way people grow to not taking advantage of the game that is being played and just making sure that both parties are aware and thing. But I also think that that comes with a certain level of like need to know, like what you may tell somebody when you first meet them and like are still trying to like woo and maybe impress them is different than what you probably gonna tell them when it's like, all right, bro, I know you now. You know, so like I feel
Yeah.
like, and it also depends on how you go about the dynamic. Because what I found is like, if I've been in a situation where it's somebody who like maybe we were like in a friendship before we actually started dating, then it's a little bit easier because I feel like then there's no real need to shield anything because you already kind of know for real. Whereas when it's somebody who you're like you're kind of just meeting and it's like just brand new and this is just a new like random person, it's a little bit more of like a mix between trying to put your best foot forward, trying not to but trying to not make your best foot forward fall into the realm of like too good to be true, because I feel like then that's when you kind of either run somebody away or in a weird way like create like a red flag for somebody that you're like this just perfect thing and nothing's wrong or nothing is like bad or whatever without that not necessarily being the case. But then also it's like when they put you on that pedestal, it's like when you do show them like nah, like it ain't always fucking sunshines and rainbows around here, it hits a little harder because they're already looking at you from the standpoint of like, well, shit, I didn't think you even went through that. I didn't think you really have those moments or whatever. And
Because we always present our best selves, but we don't really say what comes when the rain clouds come.
which is why it's hard because it's like if the goal is to present your best self, then I feel like you're already starting all of this from a lie.
Exactly. I agree.
So wait, you're telling me y'all both present your best? I mean, present yourself. Period. Not even just your best self, but you present yourself
I
authentically.
think
You don't
Yeah,
present
I
the best
just
I
version.
think
I
I
just present myself. Like you're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly because one, I need to know that you're still going to like me.
mhm,
If you see things that may not be what you consider my best self, right?
yeah,
I feel like people who present their best self, this is what happens, right? They present their best selves. It works for 6 months to a year,
for sure.
and then the facade drops because you can't keep that up. You can't keep always trying to be a perfect patty.
Mhm.
And eventually, the other person is going to see, oh,
It's some
this ain't the person that I knew 6 months
it's some
ago.
cracks
This ain't the
there.
person that I knew a year ago.
Yeah.
Like they have totally changed. They're not consistent. They done switched
Yeah.
up. They, like all of those things have changed. And I feel like that's one of the big things that ruins a lot of relationships is people have this thought process that they have to quote unquote present their best selves versus just present who you are.
Yeah, and
Just be who you are.
but it's so what I've had to learn is like as I become more and more present in every moment that I'm in, it's like how do I create a dynamic where my present self is the truest thing and it is a true part of me. But depending on how much of my presence we'll see, you'll actually see the the up and down. But if you're only catching me in spots, well, it's very easy to be in the same exact spot with you at different moments. So I think it is very much a lie, and it is very much like a facade to a certain extent to like constantly try to be this person when you know that, all right, like, yes, I have these capabilities, but this isn't my day to day. And I think in a lot of dynamics, very rarely do you get those spaces where you can kind of show your day to day up front. And what makes it more of like a too good to be true aspect is when you are so secure in how you're showing up every single time that the other person now is not secure in how they're showing up because they may be putting their best foot forward and don't and the fact that you're kind of so comfortable being you, exposing you, showing these different dynamics and just hey, take it or leave it. If they're not there, now it's like a damn, because most of the time I've ever heard like the whole too good to be true manner. 9 times out of 10, they're insecure about what they're doing, and they're like, damn,
Yeah.
am I real enough with myself to be real enough with this person? Whereas, which also puts up a wall because you're like, well, fuck you niggas, but but
Facts.
it's just that thing. So like, I think as somebody who appreciates the honesty out of somebody else, it's like very intricate for there always to be like that standard. But I also think that because of how certain dynamics in dating goes, and you're also trying to make somebody relatively happy in your presence, that standard can kind of blur because sometimes the facade and the fluff and, oh, this is just, the nice and it's going to make you smile and happy and all that type of stuff comes in the way. And now I'm just trying to do those things for like those extra brownie points, but it ain't 100% me. You know what I'm saying? But like,
But see,
go ahead.
to me, right, like I feel like I expose myself in layers. It's like peeling the onion, and I don't feel like I am not being honest with who I am when you first meet me. But to some people, my whole authentic self may be too much. So it's like you peeling back the layers based on your ability to handle more. You know what I mean? So I'm still going to be Will, but it's going to be Will with, you know, a little bit of some guards up, I guess if you want to call it, because I feel like some people aren't ready to embrace the authentic 100% Will. And I don't care what people are making their faces and stuff, because
So
I stand what I stand on.
I got a
But
question for you, Will, because you gonna die on this hill tonight.
Okay.
oh
All
boy,
right.
here
Here
we
we
go.
go.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, right?
Yes, yes,
You make people work for the keys before they open the door to get into your house.
I certainly do. Yes.
Oh, okay.
What?
Okay.
We said that you
You
opened
caught
the
that,
door.
right? You caught
What?
that? You caught that? You caught that, right?
What?
You
What?
see,
What?
you
Did,
see
what?
where I'm going with this?
Woo!
You see where I'm
What?
going with this?
What are you
Woo!
fishing me? What is it? Tell me.
Woo!
I'm messing. What? What is it, Antoine?
He's
Hmm?
saying you just like us, my brother.
No, 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 no. I have a security profile checklist. Y'all just got a wall up just to have a wall up because you don't trust nobody on the other side of the
I'm
wall.
on the other side of the
You
wall,
gonna have to go through boot camp to get through me. That, yes, you gonna earn these keys to the
and you're
kingdom.
gonna have to climb this
So
wall to get through me.
no, you just
I
got a
got,
wall
I
up. You
got,
don't
I
care if
got
the
one
person
drill.
is
You
pushing
got
the
like
wall.
6, 7.
No, you
Same
just gotta go
situation,
through.
different methods.
I've never said that it was easy to get to me. Never said that. I never said
we
that. I
said, we
never
said,
said
why are
that.
we wasting time running 6, 7 drill? I'm gonna just build this high ass wall and keep it pushing, yo.
Look, you got to go through a whole obstacle course, whatever you got to do
Mm-mm-mm.
to get to me. Yes.
Mm-mm-mm.
But I still encourage you. I'll be like, I'm rooting for you. Go ahead. Yes, I believe in you. But you got to cross that boundary and then you can talk. But otherwise,
The
no.
pot calling the kettle black.
I never said that. No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Again. Y'all just got a wall up just for having a
Yeah,
wall up. No rhyme, reason, whatever. Just because
it's rhyme
you
and
just don't
reason.
trust it.
I built the wall, so I know why I built it.
Right, but you don't know who you built the wall for. You said I'm just gonna build a 10-foot
Yeah,
wall.
the wall for
Who says
everybody.
maybe you needed a
The
7-foot
wall for
wall?
everybody. There's no discernment here. The wall is for everybody.
Exactly, that's my point. So it's like you don't have the right security
Why?
system. That's what
Why
I'm trying
not?
to say.
Not everybody can climb, right?
Right, but then what if you could get somebody who can climb 7 feet, but because you have a 10 feet wall, then they're like, well, I can't
All
get
right. Well,
in.
what if you meet somebody who
Well,
can do pull-ups, but push-ups ain't their thing? Like, you know, what I'm saying? You gonna give them a pass because they pull-ups is good?
I'm not giving them
All
a
right,
pass, but
then you should
there's other ways to get through the
you should have
obstacle
got to 10
course.
feet, my brother. 3 more feet, you would have made it. 3 more feet, bro. You were so close.
I'm just saying. I make my obstacle course reasonable. Y'all just have a wall up, just to have a wall up. There's a difference.
Hey, look.
Y'all wild. Y'all
My
wild.
obstacle course is meant for the people who need to cross. So,
Mm-mm-mm. Sound good.
but anyway, on that note, we're gonna wrap up. I think we really had a good time today. We have some other topics that we're gonna delve into maybe in the
For
future,
sure.
uh, as we are here being naked on the Naked Truth.
It's the Naked Truth, baby.
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you for listening to The Naked Truth. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms at The Naked Truth.